Hey everybody, this is the Science of Spirit. Welcome. I'm JANICE VOELKER, and today I have another Bashar for you. This is an interesting transmission, and this is still in keeping with our parallel reality theme from the first Bashar podcast that I put up. Only I think this rounds things out and pretty much explains everything in pretty good detail, because there were still some gaps and some questions I even had from that shifting through infinity. But this one really kind of brings it home. This transmission also had a permission slip for you to do. There's an exercise for shifting and noticing the shifts and being able to shift easier, I believe. I don't know. I'm going to be doing this right along with you guys too. I want to see what the effect is. So I'm including that as well. So here we go. You are already shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality billions of times per second. But you're doing it so fast that the realities are so similar that you don't notice it so much. As you let go of your negative limitations, you will start to define the reality you shift to more and more differently. So you will start to know the differences, and the differences will tell you that you're shifting all the time. Now let us do a little permission slip exercise to help you let go, to help you to shift to the parallel reality that you prefer. Simply imagine the parallel reality that you are in right now, in your imagination. You can use the room you're in right now. It doesn't matter. Imagine at a slow rate, not the billions of times per second that you normally do. I say imagine yourself shifting to another parallel reality that looks almost the same. When I say shift to that parallel reality that looks almost the same, make one thing in the room be different. Imagine that one little thing is different. It doesn't have to be much. Maybe it can be a color of some piece of clothing that is now red and that when you shift, it's blue. Then when I ask you to shift again, pick something else and make it different. Just that one thing. Then as we go through this exercise, I will start asking you to make things different, a little bigger. You can imagine that more and more is different as you shift. And with each shift, I will suggest more and more that can be different, and more differences in the parallel reality that you are shifting to. Okay, relax. Take a deep breath and let it out. Now, look at the room that you're in, because that's one reality. Now just shift to one more reality in your imagination with one little thing that's different, any little thing at all. Go ahead and sit in that reality for just a moment. Notice the difference in your imagination. Now, take another deep breath and let it out. And now allow yourself to pick something else to focus on, and now shift to another reality. And let that thing be different in the new reality. Let one thing be different. All right, now take another deep breath in and let it out. We will begin to shift a little more quickly. And you will keep doing this, picking something and shifting to the new reality and making something different in the new reality. So, 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. Now start allowing a bigger difference in things. In one thing. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. Start allowing more and more things to be different. 1, 2, 3, shift. 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 More and more things. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. Shift, 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 shift. Keep shifting. Shift, 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 shift. Watch everything change, 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 change. More and more and more differences. More differences. More and more and more. Faster, 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 faster. Shift, 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 shift. Stop. Now let your imagination settle. And in your imagination, think of all the things that are different now from when you first started. It can be just a little bit, or it can be quite a lot. The point is that when you do this with the idea that represents your preferred reality, shifting things more and more to versions of your preferred reality, you will start to rewire yourself to the vibration of that reality. Now, if while you're doing this exercise, you find any idea or limitation comes up that you feel fear shifting to or prevents you from shifting, then allow yourself to examine what that fear is and what that limitation is. This gives yourself the opportunity to know that that has come up to give you the ability, more ability to shift even faster when you can add that energy to your overall acceleration. So anytime you want to allow yourself to start with the idea of whatever reality that you're in, and then start imagining bit by bit at whatever pace that you're comfortable with, that you are shifting from reality to reality, with little things being different or big things being different in each reality. If you want to imagine this happening all around you in 3 dimensions, that's fine. If you want to imagine this happening on a movie screen, that's fine. But the most important thing is, as you accelerate faster and faster, allow things to change to be more and more representative of what you, as your ideal reality, prefer. Once you have allowed yourself to create in your imagination the ideal reality at that moment, don't allow yourself to continue shifting, but allow that reality to not change as much. So now you're winding down the other way and allowing that reality to shift just a little bit here and there. A little bit here and there. So this is like driving one of your automobiles. You start at rest, you accelerate to the speed that you prefer, and then you allow yourself to coast, or what you might call cruise control. So that once you accelerate to that speed, you can allow yourself to stay at that frequency. So when you do this, you will begin to rewire your neurology. The more you do this, and the more real you make it, the more your body will start to respond to that frequency. The more you will behave as if you live in that reality already. The more you behave as though you already live in that reality, the more you will allow the things of that reality to become physically manifest to represent that frequency. Remember, it's very important. It isn't that you're manifesting a reality that doesn't exist. All realities already exist. Because creation is infinite. Creation is unlimited. Your true natural being is unlimited. Your consciousness already contains all possible expressions of your life in physical reality. Preferred reality exists right now. Just like when you watch your television, you know that when you're watching Channel 2, the program on Channel 4 still exists at the same time, right now. This exercise will allow you to get used to the idea of changing channels, changing frequencies in a very conscious way. And the idea to realize is that you are not bringing in or manifesting something that doesn't already exist. You are simply making something that exists visible to you. The more you allow that vibration and that frequency of your preferred reality to be real, the more you will be able to see that reality that already exists. That's what manifestation is. It is simply letting go of the limitations that are not of the vibration of your preferred reality. It is behaving within the vibrational frequency that is your preferred reality, and thus allowing yourself to actually experience a physicalization of that reality because it simply becomes visible to your senses, because your senses are now operating on a different level. So you're already shifting all of the time. You might as well shift to the reality that you prefer. It is always, of course, your choice. But if you find this idea attractive, then by all means use it as a permission slip to give you the ability to know how to make it feel more real to you. And as you feel yourself shifting and shifting and shifting through all of those parallel realities, feel the accelerated energy changing the energy of your being. Perhaps you can allow your imagination to give you whatever an analogy to help you feel that acceleration from reality to reality. If your imagination comes up with the idea that you are in a very fast race car, let it. If your imagination comes up with the idea that you're in a rocket ship, then let it. Perhaps your imagination comes up with the idea of being on a fast roller coaster, then let it. Trust your imagination. Your imagination is key to your particular frequency, and what comes through your imagination is what works best for you. Your imagination is the conduit through which your higher mind communicates to your physical mind. So let your higher mind guide you through the use of this permission slip, of accelerating through parallel realities. Let it be fun. Let it be exhilarating. Let it be a life-changing experience. Remember, every change you make, you are actually truly a different person. So when you imagine yourself shifting from reality to reality, it's not that it's the same body or the same person shifting to another reality. Your consciousness is shifting into another body that's already in that reality. When you have that perspective that you're simply like a beam of energy, a beam of light, jumping from body to body in each reality, then you will truly begin to feel the energetic acceleration. It is a new body. Your body will not be the same. Your consciousness will be you. But the personality and the physical body will be the body and the personality of that parallel reality that already it exists in. This is similar to the idea that was talked about of a projector going through different frames of a film strip. Same light, different frame. And by allowing that light to project through different frames, as they accelerate past their projector, then you shift and shift and shift parallel realities. Change is just a shift in perspective. And a shift in perspective is a total universal change from one reality to another. In the course of the time that it took for us to deliver this idea, you have shifted through trillions and trillions and trillions of parallel realities. Just learn to shift more consciously so that you can shift into the series of realities that are more descriptive, more representative of the realities that you prefer to experience. Because they already exist, and some version of you is already in that reality, let the perspective of your consciousness shift to that version of you, and then you will experience that reality through that version's senses. So that was all from that transmission, which really explains a lot in detail. But I've also compiled a couple of other things that he's had to say from other transmissions because I thought it all kind of went together and it helps create the whole picture. So there was a question brought up from a more recent transmission. If there are parallel realities, each one being a slightly different version of me, then how do I know choosing a parallel reality can make a difference since I am in all of them? And his answer was, you are not in all parallel realities. Each of those versions is its own distinct person. What you experience through continuity as a change in yourself is not a change in your personality. It is a shift in your consciousness to express itself through a completely different personality, a completely different person. Any change is a total change. And since you are changing billions of times per second, you are literally shifting your consciousness through billions of people per second, billions of versions of you, but versions of you are not you in the sense of the personality. It's only you in the sense of your consciousness, your overall consciousness that perceives itself to be itself. But any change in what you consider to be your personality to be is actually your consciousness perceiving through a different person entirely. And one last little tidbit of information is that all information is interpreted within the reality you're focused on. Your vibration determines what information you are able to access and apply. And boy, doesn't that explain a lot. If you're in a vibration of sadness or boredom, you don't get the best information coming through at that level. You have to resonate at that higher level before you can get higher information that would be from a more joyous perspective. So I think my take on some of this is that you're actually, with your consciousness, sort of peering through a window of different versions of you at any particular point. And depending on the vibration, it brings up a certain version. At least that's kind of my take on it. Also, with this exercise given by Bashar, I think the idea is, although obviously you can do this any way you want to, is that you're trying to build up to what you want, only it's just happening frame by frame in a noticeable way. And yes, he really did do that shifting that fast. I tried to do it as close to the original as I could. So there's really a lot of food for thought here, and I know I'm going to put this permission slip to use and probably do it every day and just see what happens. I hope that you guys do this exercise too, because I would really love to hear from you and leave some comments below on what you think of it, if you notice any differences in your life or not. So what I'm trying to do with these transcripts from Bashar transmissions is kind of compile like information. I wish that they would provide that, because I think it would be really helpful to get as much on one particular topic as you can and not have to skip around in various years from various seminars just to try and find as much as you can on one particular thing. Okay, so here's some extra information that my higher self gave me regarding some of this stuff. It's not a lot different, but it does still give a different perspective a little bit. So here's what my higher self had to say. Keeping up with a vibrational shift is regarded as a paradigm move into space by contracting one's vision in one place or reality and then moving that focus into another reality. Automatic in the physical, a product of creator vision or perception. Your reality resonates in harmony with what you believe to be true at any moment. Those thoughts are always around as probabilities. Thoughts from anywhere at any time are what is in the matrix of thought creation. As you know, particles pulsate. So does the matrix of everything. It is all pulsation or frequencies. Particles coalesce when brought forth through focus. Energy particles always move towards the focused thought, into form. Time relates to third-dimensional frequencies. It is an illusion only in that solid matter does not generally get focused into being quickly. Resistance of energy creates heat. Without resistance, the energy moves unobstructed into form. Heat is a byproduct of resistance. So that's the extra information I channeled. My higher self is pretty good at giving scientific explanations of things. And also that part about heat and resistance, how that can be applied to mechanical things, resistance in electronics, as well as resistance in the body giving off heat, possibly in the forms of, inflammation. So that's it for this post for today, and I hope you enjoyed this and get something out of it. If you liked this podcast, please share and subscribe to my channel and push that like button and also the bell to notify you when I will be posting again. So once again, this is Janice with the Science of Spirit. Until next week, take care.